Hi, you guys. Welcome to Time to Rise and Shine. I'm your girl, Kendra Moore, and I am so excited to be here tonight to talk about something that is super important, and that is making sure that you have legal coverage. And oftentimes, I know people think that's out of reach. I know we think it's only for the rich people, it's not for every day, but that is not true. So, I have a special guest with me today. Her name is Monica Davis, and Monica Davis is senior director in a company that helps people to get affordable legal coverage. So it's a very important conversation, especially in this day and time that we know what we have access to. So welcome, Monica, to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay! She's a first time Feel Good Talk guest. So when you guys see this video, make sure you give love in the comments. So Miss Monica, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do and how you kind of got into this business.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Monica Davis. I'm originally born in South Carolina, and I migrated
So,
and I moved to New York. I am a country girl that just, I do multiple things, a serial entrepreneur. Real estate has become my baby. I love real estate. I love buy, sell, investments, commercial. I love commercial more than anything. I'm not going to lie. That has really become one of my things. But most importantly, guys, I love the fact that I get to help people every day, right? I love the fact that I get to live in my purpose. I get to live in my truth, right? Because I know that my purpose in life is to help people, and that's what I do. So I connect people with houses and businesses the same way that I love to connect people with the legal protection and services that they need to make sure that their assets and their family is covered and protected.
oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, definitely. In the real estate, it's like in one point you're helping people launch their lives, whether it's through a commercial property or a home. And then the legal part is like how do you wrap around protection so that way they're not exposed. So when people think about like legal stuff or having access to a lawyer and all of that, they oftentimes think like, hey, I'm not going to do anything. Like, I don't plan on committing a crime or anything like that. So, why do I need this type of access?
Well, the thing is, you have to think about it. Everyone has life insurance, right? They have life insurance for when something happens, right? And guess what? You're not even going to be the person that's going to cash the policy in because the life insurance is for you, but you pay in advance for it, right? We have car insurance for when an accident or something does happen, right? So I believe that people need to understand that you need proper protection for with or in it. If something happens, you rather have the protection than need it and not have it, you
Right.
know? And protecting your family, your assets is very important. A lot of people don't know about having a will, right? They
Mm.
don't know the importance of the protection for their family. They're thinking illegal, they're thinking interactions with the law enforcement, they're not thinking about overall health, having the protection for an attorney to represent them. When you say protection, they automatically think the police, right?
Right.
So just
Right.
having them to be knowledgeable and educated about the ways that the protection can protect them, actually, because good things happen, right? And bad things happen, but bad things also happen to good people,
Right.
so in the event and something happened to you, you want to make sure that you're protected.
Yeah, yep, yep. No, it's so true. Bad things happen to good people all the time. And I feel like we see it more and more now than we did like 10 years ago, so it's really important. So when you talked about like, no, it's not going to be a criminal. I'm not going to be a criminal. I don't plan on breaking the law. And so this legal having access to lawyers really helps. Can you give a couple of examples of someone who might, you know, be of that mindset that
Yeah, definitely. You know what's so
they
crazy?
can
I
use
was
it?
just talking to a friend the other day, and she and I was talking, and she said to me, she's another realtor. She was like, Monica, I never get stopped by the police. I don't need it. I don't need an attorney for anything. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you and your husband have a trust or a will? She said, I don't know.
Mm.
right? And it's just as simple as that, right? Not knowing what you have in place is just as worse as not having anything in place, right?
Right.
Because you have your husband, you have, right? But you don't know if your family is protected. And I
Right.
get that all the time. Like people always say, "Oh, I have a will." But the thing about having a will, a lot of people don't get it updated, right? And
Hmm.
if something happened and you have assets and you have kids and heirs, those things go to probate. That's not a good situation. I've seen it too many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to prevent you from going through things, you need the legal portion of it so someone can educate you on how things need to be set up and put into place.
Right. And do
Yeah.
you think like people who, let's say like your average person, they're not making, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You think they need a will and or trust?
Absolutely. I believe that if you have a heartbeat, you need a will because you can be a living will. You can have a living will. And a lot of people don't like to talk about their demise or anything like that. But the truth is, me personally, if something was to happen to me, I don't want family and friends and mom and whomever to decide if they should unplug me from a life support.
Right.
Because if God want me to be here, that's what I'm going to be. I don't want to be plugged up to no machine and all these things. I don't want that. So it's a good for a person that understands that you get to plan the way that if something happened to you and you're unable to make decisions for yourself, you have that in place. So it's not just for when you die. You understand? You may need power of attorney, right? Something could happen to you, dementia, anything could happen to you. You need somebody to deal with your thing. You may need medical proxy. It's so many different areas of having protection and being covered in your life, certain steps in your life, things happen that you need to properly plan for.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
always say if you plan, like when you're proactive, then you're spending less anxiety, less money because you know that you have the stuff. Like whenever you procrastinate, and then at least it happened to me,
Right.
all the time. Where when I procrastinate, I'm like, this is going to cost me in the long run, and it
Yeah.
always does.
It
It costs
always
me more
does.
time, more stress, more money to solve the situation where I could have just put the stuff in place and
Right.
have that done with. So thinking kind of outside of the box, right? One of the things, can you tell the story? I love this story. If you remember it, about a lady, her kid was getting bullied at school. And so I don't know if you know, I heard this one. So her kid was getting not Monica's kid. Okay, because Monica will go down there and she'll handle that situation. If she had to do something like that. But I heard a story about a lady whose kid was getting bullied at school, and she was calling the school. And actually, I wish I had this for my son because he used to get bullied at school, and I ended up moving him to a private school
Mhm.
to help with that. But so he was getting bullied, and then she kept saying something to the school. The school didn't do anything. But then when she contacted her lawyer, the lawyer wrote a letter to the school, and now all of a sudden the bully stopped. The bullying stopped,
The bullying.
So it's kind of like it is somebody else. Sometimes you need that official mouthpiece in situations,
Yeah, you
you
definitely
know.
do. And not even that, like think about this situation too. One of our Darnell Self, Mr. Self was saying that he has a rental property, right? And the
Mhm.
neighbor's tree fell in his yard, right? And he told the neighbor whatever, and the neighbor gave him his insurance and everything, but their insurance said it wasn't their responsibility.
Mm.
So Mr. Self called Legal Shield, called his attorneys. His attorneys reached out to them, and then they reached back to Mr. Self to take care of it. So there's things that we verbally can't do, right? But if we
Right.
have the proper attorneys and things in place to take care of it for us, we don't have to worry about it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So just having it, just such as that, that was one of his rental properties. And also, people don't understand, like, even if you're a tenant or whatever, you sign leases and different things and you don't know what they are, you don't read all the fine print, you have access to an attorney that can review any documents and things before you sign. So that is another level of protection for you. It's
Mm.
not just being arrested and detained, things like that. People mindset is not open to what it really is. So we have
Mm-hmm.
to educate them on that part.
Yeah, yeah, it's true because we're always thinking like um, law enforcement and stuff being and attorneys being against us. But if we
Mhm.
were to flip it and be like, wait a minute, when what situations can an attorney do for me? You know what I mean? Where I am the one that's on the defense, or sorry, the offense, and
Mhm.
I am making sure that what I'm signing
Right.
is right. Because think about how many documents that we've signed in our lifetime, buying a house, or if you have a business, you know, doing a contract or buying a car or whatever. And then people like to sneak, you know, things in. And who's reading them? I do not read fine print. I'm sorry, I don't.
And
I
listen,
don't
that's
have
why
time.
this was so great for me, because when I joined Legal Shield, I was uploading documents that I had already signed. I wanted to check out, see how crazy I was, because
Yeah,
like when you really think about it, we do things because we trust people. It
right.
ain't even for the thing, right? But not knowing what we're signing and whatever could harm us in the end, right? We just signing, yeah, yeah, yeah. But thank God,
Yeah,
nothing was wrong with any of the contractual obligations that I was in, and everything went through like it was supposed to. But having
right.
that ease my mind now. So now I say, hey, wait a minute, just like I have this, I got to upload, I scan this to my attorney. So you
Right.
have that option now, that I don't have to be the person to know everything or just sign anything now. I really have access to an attorney, a seven-figure paid attorney at that, not a paralegal, a real attorney that can oversee
Ah,
the things in my day-to-day life. So it's
yep.
very, very much so a blessing to have that extra protection.
And so these attorneys, they're, I know they're super busy. How does a person kind of contact them? Let's say someone was in a situation and they're like, you know what, speak to my attorney, you know? So how does that happen?
Well, what's so great about this business is everyone today, everybody is living like in a microwave society, right? Everything is
Mhm.
on the phone. So we actually have an app.
Mm,
You can literally tap the app, guys. You can literally tap the app and speak to your attorney through the app. So this is what's so great about it. 24/7. If it's emergency after hours, it's not like a 9 to 5 attorney. You're able to get your attorney 24/7 whenever you need them, anytime, any day, right in the palm of your hand. So having the access to that is different. I don't have to set up for a consultation. I don't have to pay $200, $300 an hour to speak to them. Unlimited.
yeah. That's pretty cool. And also, like in situation, let's say if you get pulled over or you're in a situation where you need that immediate access, you know, like she said, you know, you can get them almost immediately. It's not like they're going to get back to you 2 days from now, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they have the emergency button on the phone. So I love that too. They have emergency access where you actually can hit the 24/7 emergency button
Okay.
and get someone right away, especially if you're being in a situation with the police. Yeah.
Okay. And are these like new attorneys? Do they only cover like one state? Do I have to be, you know, sign up for a plan in a specific state to get
Oh,
access to these
no.
attorneys?
So one thing that I love about it, we have a network of over 1,500 attorneys, right? In
Mm.
all 50 states and Canada. So collectively, we have hundreds of attorneys in one state that does all practices, right? So that's what's so great about Legal Shield. It's not like if you're in Florida and you need someone for divorce, right? That only this lawyer does divorce. No, our lawyers in our network do everything. So I love that about our network of
Mhm.
attorneys, that it doesn't matter where you are. Even if you have the plan, what's so great about it also, you can be in Florida and something happened in Texas, and we're able to connect you with an attorney in our network within Texas that can take care of you
Oh, nice,
at
nice,
no
nice.
additional extra costs because you have a
Okay.
membership. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Good, good. I like it. I
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it. Now, there are some other plans. I understand that are like supplemental type of plans for
Yes.
specific people. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, one of the plan that I love the most too, because like right now people don't like to go shopping and things like that. So they have all these delivery service, right? So we have the ride share, Ubers and your Lyft drivers, right? We have plans for those drivers, people that deliver grocery, Instacart, DoorDash, all those things. We have plans for those. And one big one, logistics, drive truck drivers and things like that. I used to be a truck driver myself for UPS, but having that extra protection, and I say this story, I was telling it the other day, is I remember one day it was snowing, and my truck tires got stuck in this lady yard, and the tires were spinning, so it dug up her grass. and left the
Mm.
tire marks, and she wanted to file a claim. And UPS was representing, doing what they do for them, but I didn't have protection for me, right? So having this, now we have commercial drivers protection plans for the driver themselves, because that's their livelihood, right? 24/7. We have that. Gun owners, people in these states, they have gun owner rights where they can carry and things like that. We have extra protection for those that have that are gun owners, right? We have so many different plans and extra protection for different people, and services. That's what I love about this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, because definitely I can see those scenarios, ride shares, yeah, gun commercial drivers where
Hmm.
you're almost like, a 1099, maybe
Definitely
employee, or even if you're not, just to have that extra level of
protect.
protection is good.
Yes.
So that's cool. So you guys, we got the app. You hear all the different scenarios. Think about all the different times where you thought, I wonder if, I should have somebody look over this or even help me create this. And I know we've been talking a lot about individuals, but you also have plans for small businesses too, right?
Yes.
So you do have small business plans. If you're a small business, if you think about the things that are like you might have to do an IRS audit, or you need someone to look over an employee handbook, or something like that, especially while you're forming your business,
Yes.
that's really important. And those lawyer fees and retainers, I remember you told me about like the trust. Like, to get a trust is literally thousands of dollars,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thousands of
Trusts
dollars.
are thousands of dollars. So you can, get one on this plan as well. So that's the Legal Shield plan. I really wanted to bring Monica on to talk about this because, again, it's very important that we understand what we have access to, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. And at any time leaving the house, you can be exposed to any number of situations, or doing business, or having a contractor. Think about the stories where people have contractors come and work on their house, right? And they start the job, but they don't finish the job. And now you got to like chase them down, So there's all kinds of scenarios, not just you getting, booked for some kind of criminal activity where you can access a lawyer.
Right.
So, do you have any? I see Charles Brakely. Hey, Chuck. Good evening to you. And he says, please like, love, share, and follow Feel Good Talk when you watch this. Um, so, do you have any closing words or advice, or how? I'm going to put in the comment. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the comment so that way people can go on. They can take a look. He says,
Mhm.
awesome information. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir. Thank
Charles.
you. Thank you. Thank you. So you can go on and look at the plan, and maybe you can give us a high level about the different types of plans, just at a super high level so people know their options.
Yes, yes, definitely. I would start definitely with the 29.95 plan, right? That is for an individual person or domestic partner or spouse, right? Those plans can get you legally protected so that you can also get a will, right? But also have the access to an attorney if you need one, right? Then we have a family plan, and a lot of people don't understand that your family, our plans are set for the average person to be able to afford it, less than $1.52 a day, right? So for 37.95, now you're able to protect your family and get a will for your family for everybody that is in the house or in college up to age 26. And then we have the 49.95 plan, which is the premium plan. And that is for those people that have the assets, the valuables, the things that they don't want the government and the state to decide and have their family in probate, because they're able to get a trust, a irrevocable trust, for $250 additional with having that plan. And I tell people this all the time. They be like, Monica, why would I pay monthly for a subscription? You have to understand, some people can't afford to pay up front, right? But some people like to save money, and being able to have services where you can afford $1, $2 a day, these things help you at another level, right? And for those people that does businesses, right, we do have a essential plan that starts at $49. That is for that person to have that salon, right in the neighborhood, the barbers, those places like that, that just does business in state only. And then we have the more advanced plans, the $99, that is for that person that does in and out of state. But one thing about the business is all the formations, right? You're able to get your LLC if you need, if you don't have, right? You're able to get a trademark, copyright, all these things are you're
That's
able
good.
to do. But most importantly, Uncle Sam don't care when he come knocking. So when you have your business structured properly, you want to make sure that you protect it. If people take investments, they're always investing in their business. Having I'm
Yes.
I'm on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, people have their investments, so you want to make sure that they protect their investments, right? Because it costs money. And then some people have businesses and things where they buy clothing, they buy different things, and they don't have a way to protect those things. A person like me, as a hairstylist, I'm a licensed hairstylist by trade, right? People try to sue you all the time, you know,
Mm,
and you need legal protection for situations like that because you don't know when it's going to happen. It could be something as simple as you're dropping some hair dye on someone's Louis Vuitton shirt that they say they paid $10,000 for, but it came from Canal Street. You don't know, right? But you have to protect yourself and your investment and have the legal protection.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so many different scenarios, you guys, whether from an individual standpoint or a business standpoint. And then the last thing I want to wrap up on, I see we have some people tuning in. So you guys make sure that you go back and watch the top of the video here with Miss Monica Davis, and we're talking about legal protection for the everyday person. You do not have to be wealthy in order to get legal protection, and you definitely don't have to be wealthy to deserve legal protection. So we all deserve that. And then lastly, there is like identity theft portion as well, which is something else that somebody can get. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and why that's important?
yes, a lot of people know that in the US and everywhere, identity is the biggest crime ever, right? People's identity has been stolen, fraudulent things
Mhm.
are happening, and a lot of us think that because we have the bank and the bank is protecting their money, their interest only, right? That you have the protection that you need for your identity, but that's not true. So Legal Shield, we have a identity protection plan that's above and beyond, right? Not only does it protect your identity, right? But think about this. If someone was to use your identity and commit a fraud and it costs money and you lost a lot of money due to whatever the incident or thing that they've done, Legal Shield will bring your things back to pre-theft status by hiring a private investigator, right? They're gonna hire that investigator to do the work as long as it takes for however long it may take to make sure that your things are back in pre-theft status. And not only that, guys, guess what? Whatever it costs you, Legal Shield will protect you up to $3 million. Who's doing that? The bank's not doing that, right? And
Yeah.
also, in addition to that, guys, we have the credit monitoring services that is built into the app that protects not only your identity, guys, it protects your credit. All three bureaus, we have two different plans. All three bureaus can be protected also, right? And most importantly, guys, listen, I love this feature for those moms as dad, just for in general, even for myself. They have a sex offender app. You can
Mm.
literally put an address in there and see the person's picture pop up and how far they are from the location you are. And that's very, very important, guys, because we're out here in the world that we don't know who's right. And things can happen, right? And people not walking around with the label on their forehead, I'm a sex offender. But we have all these things in our app that can protect your identity and protect your family.
Wow. Can you tell the story about who was it? Your niece or
Denise, yeah,
somebody who
yeah, yeah,
used
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother's daughter, she was at school and they have the app on their phone. And so when she was at school, she's always putting the address in. She loved the app now. So she was putting the address in when she noticed that the janitor at the school was a sex offender. Oh my God. Listen, she called her dad right away. When her dad got on the phone, he came to the school and, they removed them. But the truth is, you never know. And this when you have the family plan, we have two plans. You have the 1995 that is for yourself, but we have the family one for 34.95. You and all your kids, independent kids under the age of 26, have access to that app for that one monthly price. So I suggest that everybody that is breathing need the Identity Shield app.
Wow. So for under $40, right?
Under
You
40 bucks.
can you can a month you can protect your entire family,
Yes,
your spouse or partner, your kids. You all get that app access and
yes,
your identity protection
absolutely.
and the up to $3 million. And you guys, the up to $3 million is significant because if you go to the bank, right, and you look at that little label on the bank, it's FDIC insured up to $250,000.
Right.
That's it. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm saying it's 250,000 versus up to 3 million.
Up to three. Big
So
difference.
that to me is like a level of confidence that the
Hmm.
company has to be like, you know what, we're gonna take care of this situation. We're so confident that we can help. That if we can't, you're covered up to 3 million. So that's pretty cool.
And you know what else? Like having Legal Shield makes me even more confident and cocky. I'm not gonna lie to you, because just thinking about the things that you have here, right?
Right.
So before, you'd be worried and everything. Now I can be outside like whatever, something happened. I have my attorney. I can call my attorney. You understand? And you don't have to think about it now because you're legally protected. But before, you would think about it so often, like, man, what I'm gonna do? I can't afford $2,000, $5,000 for a retainer fee. I can't afford $200, $300 an hour to speak to someone. And are they calling me back or the paralegal? And I tell people like this because I remember when I was going to school, because I was confused about what I wanted to do. So I went to school. I was paralegal. I did so much work for the attorney. I was like, oh no, that's not it. You know.
Hmm.
But I know now, have the grace of knowing that it's not a paralegal I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to a 22, 27-year veteran attorney, very experienced, who's handling my case. So it's amazing.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point because because these attorneys, as I understand, the average experience is like 23 years experience. So they're
Yes.
not like, just out of law school. Like they are very experienced attorneys that you get access to
Yes.
on your phone. And you talk to them. Like we say on the phone, but we're not saying like, or you're just texting with them, or they're going to send you an email.
Mhm.
Like you put in what the issue is, and then boop, they'll give you a call and start it from there.
Definitely. Yeah. Great service.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm excited about it. You guys, especially since you all know that I'm in the life insurance industry. So, I see what happens when people don't put the certain things in place.
Yes.
When people are reactive and not proactive. And that's what I was saying at the top is when you're reactive, it's more time, more stress, more money versus, hey, why don't we just go ahead and put this in place? So
Hmm.
that way, like Monica said, you can walk around confidently. You don't have
Very.
to yell at the person in the store because you thought this product is under warranty and now they don't want to, and when you say, I'm going to call my lawyer, you can talk to my lawyer, you can do that. Like you can mean it. You know what I
You really
mean?
mean it. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Definitely.
can
And you
really
know what's
mean
so
it and
great
hit
too?
that button and boom.
Get your attorney.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you, Monica, for
No problem.
joining. I really appreciate your time and your expertise on this. I don't know if we have any questions out there. I did put in the link in the chat, so I'll put the link up again. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment, and then I'll respond to the video. And if I don't know the answer, I'll definitely get Miss Monica, and she can respond as well. So have a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please follow, like, share, feel good talk. Remember, we are also on YouTube. So make sure if you're watching from YouTube that you like the video. And that is all for tonight.
And
So I don't know if you have any last closing words, Monica, but
I just want to say thank you guys for having me. And I really, really appreciate it. It was very, very great to be able to give the information to your platform and to all of your people here. And I just want to say thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I see you, Andrea. Good night.
Good
Thank you for
night.
tuning in. All right. Good night, you guys.
Bye.